And few generations, that's what you meant. Huh?
Yeah, exactly. So there is in the Perek Aleph, there's a big difference as well. Is the Chifshu that the Bonsham says to human, you should be koivish the land, and in the Perek Beis it says le ovdo u le shomro is to look after, to work, and ule shomro is to defend. Yeah, to defend, to be shomer. Shomer is the opposite of kibush. Yeah, kibush is attack, and shmira is defend. It's the opposite of the. So there is a contradiction, and this contradiction. So again, there are three basic contradictions. The first one is that he created male and female together, and in the second perek he created male, and then he created eventually female. The second difference is that it was Elohim that created him, and then in Perek basis Hashem Elohim. It's kind of something, another identity of Hashem. And then you have the third element is more of the chifshuho, that to attack, to take initiative. And on the other hand, in the Perek Beis it says no, le'ovdo, to work, to be submissive to the land, to work the land, or le'shomro, to protect it. It's a completely different attitude between the two prokim. And Chazal already noticed that difference, specifically in the Zohar Nekevo. And so what the answer is of Chazal is that Hashem created the Zohar Nekevo. First, he created him, both had two faces, had a male and a female into one. That's how the Chazal answer the contradiction between Perek Aleph and Perek Beis. And in Perek Beis, he separated them. They were he split the female and the male. He separated them. As I explained to you, he didn't separate them symmetrical, but he made a bit of a diagonal so that we have more das and they have more bino. Yeah, remembered my pshat I once gave. Women have more bino yesero, the women have, but nushim datum kalos, we have more das. And it's main bino ain't das, main das ain't bino. You always need to be married in order for, you need to receive the bino, to accept the bino yesero from the woman, and the woman has to accept the das yesero, the das that men have. And
the woman
together
wasn't created from the rib.
Sorry?
The woman wasn't created.
Yeah. But according to that shot in the Gemara, that the front was male and the back was female, then it's a different shot. The Gemara asks, what about that? I don't remember. There's a shachibetaria on that shot. It's a drush in how to consolidate Perek Aleph with Perek Beis. Okay, so you have a contradiction, and so the Gemara says mashma that we have to say that Zohar Nekevo means that it was one, and there were one goof and both male and female, and then it was a separation.
That's a typical Greek vision.
What? Sorry?
That's a typical Greek by the mythology of Greeks.
Yeah.
That's exactly what.
Yeah. But it's the question is when the Gemara gives an answer, does it mean sometimes?
No.
What? No. But I mean it now. Is sometimes when you have a question and then you have an answer, is it an answer that tells you yesh loima, I bois eimer? If you want, I can say. Or is it really what it happened? You understand? Or is it an answer? Sometimes the Gemara gives an answer. I don't know the answer, but if you want, I can give you an answer that would take away the question, but it's not a proof that this means that this is how it was. You understand what I'm saying? So sometimes you have to be careful. Sorry?
It's a possibility.
It's a possibility. I give you an answer that you can sleep in the night.
They had even children on the 6 days.
What?
They had even children on the.
They even had children on the 6th day as well. Yeah. So you see here the element, this discrepancy between Perek Aleph and Perek Beis, and then how the Gemara answers. Here, Rabbi Soloveichik, I'm just going to be quite short on him, but what he says is that I already said to you, we have been created with two different personalities. We have been created with a personality that is majestic man, that sometimes we have a feeling that we want to be successful, we want to conquer the world, we want to create, and we want to solve problems, and when we create a community, the community is how can you help me and I will help you, so that we all can achieve our personal ambition. So it's more of a partnership that we create a community. That's the Odom from Perek Aleph. It is a man that wants to conquer and needs to conquer the world and nature is going to build bridges and buildings that are 1 kilometer high. I don't know it exists yet. Yeah, I think we are not far from there. But to defy nature as much as possible, to find antibiotics for diseases and to find solutions for all the problems that there is in the world. This HaKadosh Baruch Hu, this is Odom Rishon, and Odom Sheni from Perek Sheni is the religious man, is the one that feels lonely. He has this loneliness in himself. He has a craving for something which is more spiritual, who wants to understand exactly who he is, what is his purpose on the world. He is, as Heschel would have said, he's full of wonders. This is something which Rav Soloveichik does not mention, but Heschel is more based on sees the world not as an opportunity. The Odom the first sees the world as opportunities. Oh, there's still a problem here. I can fix that problem. And Odom the second is somebody who sees the world and he wonders, and it's so beautiful. And look at the trees and look at the autumn, and then it starts the autumn, beautiful colors. And he's continuously in a wonder, but without thinking always of a solution, but just as and enjoying the moment on the one hand, and also suffering from this loneliness, from this separation that he is from the Creator, not understanding what's going on. And he's more busy with interior questions on the how and the why and the what and etc. and the who, while the Odom the first is more busy with what problem can I solve today and how can I be successful, and is more busy with beauty than with the wonders and the goodness that there is in the world. And this is, he wants to explain that this is not one is better than the other, both are important. And a person, he claims, should not be always religious in the sense that he always has to feel lonely, etc. There is a time when he has to do things and he has to conquer, he has to be successful, he has to go out to work and make money and build and do good things. But then it always comes with, you see it a lot of times by people who have a dream and they want to become successful, and they become successful that they fall into a gap, a black hole. They feel that something is missing, that the journey towards that was so fun, but once they reach the goal, they feel suddenly an emptiness. And this is something normal, because that's how we are. And sometimes we feel in the same day, multiple times, we oscillate between, oh, I want to do something, and with, oh, but I feel lonely, there is something missing. And then you say to the hill and you go to the smedrash, you go to a shir, you feel something is missing, and then you are continuously oscillating. And he says that it is inevitable, that we are doomed to never be redeemed. We will always feel those two. That's what he wants to say here.
Because the neshama wants to get higher.
Yeah. On one hand, the neshama feels lonely, it calls us for the loneliness. On the other hand, there is a part of the neshama that says, sure, you should go and conquer and go and fight and do and be successful. You understand? There is this drive as well. We all have kind of a dream of one day, and when you get already 55, you already see that your dreams are. Then you ask yourself the question, what? Yeah, exactly. Then you don't have, when you are still young, like the others here, they still have a hope of achieving something and being successful. That's and it's those two will always exist, and you will always oscillate between the two. There's something that I would like to add, and I will probably work a little bit further on that one. Is there are three words, three sentences, three affirmations that I think are very important in our lives. And there is, the first one is what Rav Kook says is to Odom Rishon Ayeko, where are you? This is one of those fundamental questions that we have to ask ourselves. Where are you? Yeah, the Ayeko is to understand where am I in my life. Is to make the Cheshbon HaNefesh of where are you. There is the Moshe Rabbeinu that says, Mi onoichi, who am I? And that's one of the biggest questions, because like I explained you, we are all, and all of us, I'm the first playing, and we have an avatar. I am playing a role here, but the true me, I feel that not worth it, because typically we have this feeling that whatever is in there stinks. Yeah, that when we want to open it, it's probably all kind of rubbish in there, and we created for ourselves an avatar. But the real question is mi unoichi. That's what Moshe Rabbeinu asked, and there is Avraham Avinu, and I already spoke about that. Avraham Avinu that says Hineni, I am ready. I'm ready to perform. And I think these are the three words which we should all have in mind continuously every day. And it's kind of neo-noichi. Who am I really? Because sometimes I am, at some point in my life, and maybe because that's why I went back, is because I saw that I had always a dream to become a CEO of a big company. And at some point when I became 40, I realized, is it really what I want? Because then I'll be busy with 1,000 different things, and I'll have to play roles, and I will not have time to do what I like to do the best, and it's not me. So that's and in 9 maybe because of my failure, of my success, that I think like that. But I really believe that that's when I became 40, I realized that's not me, and I wanted to do who I am really in who I am. That's the Mio Noichi, understanding who am I. Ayeko is where am I in my life in realization of who I am, and then the Hineni is the starting to do. Is am I motivated to do what I want to do, and that is the 3 points that a life coach, as you already saw last 2 weeks ago, I spoke about it, that I've studied a little bit of life coaching. That's basically everything that is in the life coaching is sometimes to understand who you are, to go through with questions, to really know who you really are, and not who you believe that you are, or that you want people to think that you are. And then to see, okay, compared to who you are, where are you today in your life? That's the Ayeko. And then is how can we change something, do something about that? Because that's the biggest problem, as I explained to you 2 weeks ago, is people want to do things, they want to stop smoking, they want to eat healthier, they want to do exercises, but somehow the first time they do it, they buy a machine in their homes, a training machine, and then after 2 or 3 weeks, they hang up their coats and their hats, and the wash, their wife uses it to dry the sheets, and it becomes another tool. And that's something which is universal, and it's because the Hineni is not there. The Hineni, the real motivation has to be there. That's the part that Avraham Avinu said, the Hineni. And that circle, this cycle has to be done, is to really to understand the Mio Noichi, which Moshe Rabbeinu, the Ayeko, where am I compared to that, and the Hineni, and the part of, these are the major words, and these are also something that the Adam the second is busy with. Yeah, Adam the first doesn't care. He wants to be successful. He wants to become rich. He wants to create a company that is going to be sold on the Nasdaq for billions of dollars. That's what he wants to achieve. But Adam the second is more busy with who he is, etc. And this is always a continuous balance.
Maybe because he compares with the animals.
Sorry?
He compares himself with the animals. They all have a mate. They have children. And he's alone. So what's my purpose in the world?
Yeah, could be that this is that's why the Adam the second. Yeah, but Adam the first not. He was already directly. Yeah. He also explains very nicely. He's also one the one that says that what he calls the community of the prayer, of the davening, the tefillah started really when the nevuah stopped. So I thought it was Manitou, but it's also Rabbi Soloveichik says that the davening is starting when the community of the nevuah stopped. It's what got replaced by the davening, while the novi is the one that receives from Hashem the word from Hashem. The tefillah is that we speak to Hashem. It's just a changing of direction, and this started when the nevuah stopped, and he explains that very nicely. I thought it was Manitou's Chiddush. Sorry. When the nevuah Anshiknes Agdoilo. The Anshiknes Agdoilo.
So you mean the standard that?
Yeah, the standardized davening started when, until then there was what I explained, Za'ako. There is a cry. People cry to Hashem from pain or from sorrow, from worries, from stress. But to daven to Hashem, standing, and this, please Hashem, I need this and this. Make a list of order, shopping list. That started from the Anshe Knesset Agdola. It's when the Nevuah stopped. And that's a very interesting, I never saw it. I read it once and I never realized, because I checked it, and it's something that Manitou and Rabbi Yosef Ber at the same time are saying. I don't know if they copied each other, if one was the first one, but they both are interestingly explaining both that it is the way that it is. But what I liked is that the Odom the first, he achieves success through working in partnership. So he says that the Beis HaMedrash, or Yaakov, what type of community is it? Is it a community of where I have to daven b'minyan, and so you also have to daven b'minyan, so let's come together and we'll both daven b'minyan? So that's Odom the first, we help each other. Or it can be a community of Odom the second, where I feel lonely, you feel lonely, let's bring Hashem and let's help each other and let's create a community of three, which is the me, the you, and Hashem. And that's and he says when the man was created, Odom the Rishon, the Odom the first, he created straight away Chavo, and they worked together as partners. But in Odom the second, he was lonely. Then Hashem created Chavo, and Hashem presented Chavo to Odom. So there were three people involved. There is the person, the Ava, which is the Chavo, and the Hashem, that the Shutov that brings them together. And he says that's a different community. And he very much goes on about it. I'm not clear practically what the differences are, but I can feel that there is material here to continue further. And it is very interesting. So sometimes I'm not sure that the Matika Das is, he would have rather, and he says it also, it's rather a natural community, not a covenantal, called the covenantal community is the one from Odom II. Because this is really people that come together and they, it's more of a self-help group kind of, where you involve our weaknesses and we share it and we help each other in finding nechoma in our suffering, and how can we help each other, and we bring Hashem as well in the picture. While otherwise the Medrash is only a partnership. We help each other to make a minyan. I need a minyan, you need a minyan. Let's do together and we daven to Hashem with a minyan. He calls it more the Odom the first community.
We approach it as a human measure. I'm a man, you are a man, we're going to as men. We can approach it, misery is not the misery is not the human, but everything is met, done with the measure of Hashem. Hashem is the measure, and we compare it with.
Okay, that's not really what he says. No. He says that Hashem suddenly become part of the equation, but not maybe. I didn't see it in him, but it's definitely there are three suddenly. There's always two, but the second one is only to help the first one to achieve his personal goal. And we have a common problem, and let's share it more and understand it, etc. So we saw the Ramak and the Arizal. The Ramak introduced the Yichud of Hashem, the unification, and the Arizal introduced the Tikkun Olam, and this brought to Ramchal that the Tikkun Kloli, he added the Inyan of Tikkun Kloli, and then also Rav Kook, which says the Tikkun Olam as not only spiritual Olam, but also the world Olam Hazeh that also needs a Tikkun. And that's what Be'etem, like I explained you also, this is the Erev of Voiker, that the Voiker, the day by the Jews, the day starts by the night and ends in the day, because the day follows, there's always, after the night comes the day, and not the opposite, not after the day comes the night, like by the Goyim and in Beit HaMikdash, but for the Jews, the day starts after the night, because this is a messianic, optimistic view that we want to introduce in the world. And I explained to you the element that by Erev Voiker, can mean more than just a night and day. It can mean Erev means Irvuvia, and Boiker means clarity, the morning, the clarity of the morning, and that it means that there was an Irvuvia in the beginning, there was Toyu Voyu, and it became the Boiker always after each day that Hashem has created the world. And our role is to continue this tikkun. And then you have the contradiction between Perek Aleph and Perek Beis. As I explained you, Odom the Rishon and Odom the Sheni. Odom the Rishon is Kitzur Oret, is majestic, is successful, and Odom the Sheni is Obdol, the Shomro, is submissive, is lonely, is not the most how do you call it driven, is more inner driven more than outer driven. But he explains that both are necessary. There's not one that is better than the other. You just need to balance them both, and that he believes that we oscillate from one Odom to the other Odom from time to time, sometimes in the same day, sometimes it's in a lifetime, that we fight, and then suddenly you realize that you're missing something, and then you go back to the Beis HaMedrash and you try to lead to Hashem, and then once you've done that a bit too long, then you feel like, yeah, but I need to do something practical, and then you go back outside. And this oscillation is a very normal phenomena. It's not like something bad. It's not something to be ashamed of. It's something which is really important, and it's part of of how we are, how we live. And then I explained you the three keywords that the person has to always remember is the Mio Noichi, that Moshe Rabbeinu said, the Ayeko, where am I compared to who I am, and Hineni, what am I willing to do, how motivated am I to really perform and to find who I am and to be épanouir, how do you call it? To fulfill who you are. And that's one of the most difficult, because unfortunately, I believe very much that we are stuck in an image, in an avatar, and that we can't get out of it. And I really feel that, I'm pretty sure that all of us, and maybe some of you not, but we are all stuck in an image that we try to keep up, and it's a shame. And this is what Rav Kook says, it's also a shame, because we have so much to give to the world, but we don't believe it. And we think that, no, but the world expects from me to be like that, and therefore I will play that role, and I will continue, and I'll be the role, and I'll go to this role to the end. I become an actor.
Can be our drive or
Yeah, but sometimes the question is the one you should not be. The Rav Kook says that the one that you want to be should be the one that you are, and not to play a role from somebody else. You understand? You have to be true to yourself. And that's that's the question, and the problem is that it's very difficult to dig down and to know who you really are. Yeah.
If it's in Judaism or anything,
Yeah.
he knows he wants to be big.
Yeah.
So he's not there yet. So
Yeah.
he has to work to become big.
But when you learn coaching a little bit, then you realize that when you ask that question, I want to be this, and when you start asking, you realize that it's not what you want to be, but you think that your parents would like you to be, or you think that the community will appreciate if you are. But what you really want to be is something else. Out there is no parnos. My father will tell me that there is no future in that, but that's what I want to be. I want to be an artist. I want to be a clown in the story with the finesse and his son. I think it was anyway. I want to be a clown in a circus. That's what I want to be. But the father says, no, there's no parnos. So what you going to be? You understand what I'm saying? We are sometimes formed, and what I always say is that school, by definition, is ruining your identity, is forming you, and then you need a whole life to correct what has been wrong. And it's not a critique. Yeah. It's not a critique on school, because it's an economic necessity. It's an economic necessity. Your parents cannot afford to give you private tuition so that you can form yourself. You have to live in a class, and you also have to learn how to socially behave with other boys and other people. So it's important. But on the other hand, it destroys your identity, it crushes your identity, and therefore you need a whole life to re-identify who you really are. The new noichi.
And after school, then you get married. When you get because when you get married, you cannot play anymore.
No.
But from school,
Yeah, I hope so. I really wish that everybody should have enough time between school and marriage to really identify who they are and to marry really the one. But normally, when it comes to shidduchim, I think the the inner self says this is the one, and sometimes you're like, wow, but because then this comes, it's something that you feel from within. So I hope that it is the true self that realizes what the other one should be. I hope so, and it's not the avatar. Sorry.
When you make a mistake, you made the wrong.
It's not the. I don't know. It's the compared to who you are or who you really are. I don't know. That's another question. But
the joke with Jackie Mason, yeah, he went. And at the end of the trip, he said, the search for the real you will continue next week, $120. I said, what do you mean? The search for the real you? Maybe you are the real me and you owe me $120.
Yeah, maybe you are the me, and then I remember this. Yeah, but it's a difficult question, and it's one of those that.
Yeah, I wanted to.
Yeah. About chinuch. Okay. When is it? This week. Tomorrow. Next week. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure that he will speak about that element of chinuch and the narrative darkoi. What? Yeah. Really busy. Where does he come from? From London. Okay. Let's hear. I want to listen. Yeah, next week Monday, Mr. Hashem. Maybe I'll go and then I'll give a shear on that subject. Because no, it's something which I see Rav Kook, remember I spoke, Rav Kook so critique on the system. And it's true. There is a lot of people are in yeah. No. Yeah. It's really that he has no to accept, and that's very difficult. The parent has to accept that your child is different. Sometimes a child, when you are Hasidic, and the child wants to become an artist or whatever, wants to play music. No, it's not. And you don't want, and you push him. So you try to convince him. Leave him, let him be. That's what his neshama wants to be. You are some crushing him because it doesn't fit in your picture. You know what I'm saying? We are, and also the opposite as well. And it comes when you have a child that's neshama, and you don't like it, and let the children be who they are. Let the people be who they are. We try to force ourselves in the dress code and
so we have to teach the community to be less
critique and more. Yeah. But all communities are the same. Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Very interesting. I like you. I like your comparison. Yeah.
And the question
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
you will not be allowed to be a
No, בכל אבס נפשו חותך על בוסר. Already spoke, you were maybe here. There is a mitzvah to eat meat. So if you want to eat meat, you have to eat meat. There is a kunis draptadi going. So you have to eat meat when you feel that you want to eat meat. But no, then it's okay. Then it's okay. But only Yom Tov for Shabbos. What? Sorry. Yeah, also Rav Kook was a vegetarian, not on Shabbos. Rav Kook was vegetarian, yeah. Only in the week, in Shabbos not. Because in Shabbos he said that if he's going to be vegetarian and on Shabbos also not, then all his Talmidim will think that this is the ideal. He didn't want to impose himself. But he told, no, I'm a vegetarian, but only in the week, so I'm not really a vegetarian. But he believed in vegetarian as an ideal. He did believe in it.
I think that you eat animals.
Yeah, so you bring them up, but this is korbanos. That's why the ideal eating of meat is korbanos or korban pesach. That's ideal. So once a year, you can eat in order to live. You don't have to eat every day, every animal to see. It's not a mitzvah to see an animal and eating it up and to be male the kedusha of the animal. What? Sorry?
Vegetarian means what to eat.
Yeah. No, but it didn't mean that. It didn't mean.
That's what I heard. That if you are vegetarian because you don't want to.
Yeah.
So you missed the whole conversation.
Yeah.
We were created after the animals.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, if we call the reasons, it's not such a marvel.
Yeah. Yeah. Ouais. Ouais.
À l'époque,
Ouais, les protéines, ouais. Ouais, je te remarque.
t'arrives pas là. Avant, pour vivre, il fallait tuer.
Ouais.
Aujourd'hui, pour vivre.
En fait, il y a Umberto Eco a écrit un livre, c'est aussi un historien, and he wrote a book of, you don't understand French, huh? You do understand? Ah, okay, but anyway. So he explains, because there is somebody who makes the link between kidneys, why kidneys was also, he explains that Europe has been able to become so powerful because of the introduction of eating beans. The beans have a very high protein children, and that could replace, because people who didn't eat meat were normally only ate carbohydrates, they did not survive very long. So the life expectations was very low, and so only the rich that survived, and the poor did not have a high life expectation. But with the introduction of beans, which has a very high protein content, the whole Europe could develop. So it didn't have to have meat in order to be healthy and to be developed. And that is something which has been introduced and is the time when the French European Richthoinen, not the North African, but the European Richthoinen, thought that the development of the beans became so important that it became part of the main food. And so the issue of kidneys is not surprisingly at the same time as when the beans, when the kidneys were introduced. So there's a correlation. How to explain the correlation, I leave to you to think about it. But there's that concept. The replacement of meat proteins by vegetable proteins is a big discussion today in the world as well. Do we need to eat animals, or can we survive with the beans, with solant and soya beans and all the other high protein vegetables? Yeah, but still they claim that it's possible. They claim that it is. I mean, so far vegetarians that exist already for, I don't know, 50 years. And no, but I mean that you can measure, let's say, and I don't think to eat meat. No. So that's another point. And by the way, and I will. There is a Seder Adoirus. There's a Seder Adoirus. Seder Adoirus. I have it at home, and by chance I opened it up, and it was on that page. He asked the question: how come that the previous generation, the beginning, they were living 900 years? They call it's already we're already happy. And he says, why? He says, because they were not allowed to eat meat. So they ate only vegetables, so they lived longer. That's what Seder HaDoros. We're not talking about the modern. That I don't know. I don't know. What? I don't know. I don't know who he is. It's one of the late earlier Achronim, I think. And he says that because we don't eat meat, because they didn't eat meat, that they live longer. So he knew about cholesterol and all the other rubbish that is in the meat. So basically, it's yeah. The insurance companies, yeah. Or the other way, they want us because they don't want to pay for our medical care. So you have both. Yeah. But there is the Reb Sadi going. There is a mitzvah say to eat meat. So there is such a concept that if you want to eat meat, that you have to eat meat. So you have to understand that. What? No, but he says. Ouais. Ouais. Ouais, Berich ook Mokoin. Yeah. Taiver, yeah. The whole avas nafshot halboso. Manger la viande.
Non, idéalisé.
Ouais.
Idéalisé, alors.
De manger de la viande. Non, mais.
Rien ne t'inquiète.
Pas-
Dans l'Afrique, elle a gagné.
C'est très bien, ça fait exactement ce que tu dis, tout à fait juste. Je peux dire l'inverse et je dis, mais attends, bon, en gros, on est.
On fait. C'est une force. Ouais.
Mange des aliments des
C'est
animaux.
ça fait en carnateur, tu dis que c'est mieux.
Non, la terre dit de manger de prix 8.
Qu'est-ce qu'il a fait la taille de cette fois?
C'est la viande. La taille, c'est la viande.
Ok, alors si on me taille des tailles de taille, moi je peux pas contre.
C'est pas l'être humain, c'est pas moi.
C'est pensé pour les femmes.
Mais on se bat alors.
Ah, non, il n'y a pas beaucoup. Non, non, je sais pas, mais en tout cas, taille, c'était chez le Slav, c'est écrit.
Un peu comme avec les facteurs.
Ça, c'est ok, j'accepte. Moi, je suis. Écrit, bechol avas nafshecho toich al boso.
Quand on ne peut pas mieux, alors comme tu peux.
Ok.
Ça, c'est le stade.
Ok.
Si quelqu'un veut le sac des feuilles, tu vis.
C'est tellement difficile de manger. Pour que le
Script, pour que ça devienne cher et que.
Non, c'est difficile. Je veux manger la viande, pour remplir X conditions.
Ouais.
Pas facile que tu Oui, mais non, je parle de la street. Voilà. C'est la nôtre. Je veux savoir comment on fait la street.
Ouais, mais en tout cas, in any case, it's a very interesting discussion. I gave already because you and him maybe I spoke about the why don't we come the animals? Were you here? I gave a whole shear. Yeah, Moscovich was here because his father is a big butcher, ex-butcher. It was very interesting. I explained why Matikadat don't, why the Jewish community don't want to do it. What your opinion? So, can give it again. Talking, yeah.
Record because Ruben would like to hear the third part.